Hello. Today, I bet you're watching this video because you want to get a reptile, or you're thinking about getting a reptile, and you want to know what reptiles are best for a beginner like you, or you already have a reptile and just want another easy reptile. Today, I will be telling you 5 of the best beginner pet reptiles, and I'm going to warn you, I don't have all 5 of these reptiles. I only have 3. Well, one of them technically isn't even mine. But I have had experience keeping it. I'm just gonna warn you on that. I know what the best beginner pet reptiles are. I have so much reptile information. It's actually a problem. It's bad. These ones will be easy to find, easy to keep, cheap to keep, and just overall fun to handle. These will all be handleable, of course. If you can't handle your reptile, what are you doing? There will be 2 lizards and 3 snakes on this list. So, just warning you, if you want a turtle, they're not easy to keep, and they're not the easiest to find either. Sorry. I am a pretty big reptile person. I'm a nerd like that. You can see there's a reptile tank right there. One back there. That's absolutely massive. You know what else is massive? Okay, let's just get into the video. Alright, number 5 on this list is a leopard gecko. And I have a leopard gecko. This is my female leopard gecko, Goji. She is a tangerine clown emerine leopard gecko. You don't have to get one this fancy, though. She was like $130. She was expensive. You can get them for like $10. They can be really cheap, especially if they're just an average morph, like nothing crazy, like a wild type Pokemon. Sorry, that's cringe. But like they're cheap. The reason why they're number 5 though is because they're not the most cheap to feed. That's the biggest issue. They are, so when they're younger, they will eat bugs almost every day. They don't eat every day, of course, but you should try to offer them every day. They won't always eat them or eat as many as they should, but that's fine. It's better for you. Also, the reason she has a skinny tail, I bet people in the comments will be like, why does she have a skinny tail? She's only about 6 months old. She's pretty young. They get their tail fatter over the ages. They can get really fat tails. They can get big. Goji is still young. She was born on my cousin's birthday, actually. It's interesting. Anyways, if you wonder, like, why is she named Goji? She's named after Godzilla. In Japan, they call Godzilla Gojira. I just shortened it to Goji. She's pretty fun. She'll also poop in one specific place, so it's kind of easy to pick up her poop. You can also just put a paper towel where they usually poop. Oh, she's gonna fall off again. I'm gonna catch you. Don't fall off again. Alright, she's just being weird. They're not always like this. They're not always kind of adventurous and crazy. I just got lucky with Goji. She's fun. It's not like she's annoying to handle, but she is definitely kind of dumb sometimes and will leap from my hand. She'll often scare me when she leaps from my hand. Ooh, did you see that? Wow. You're not supposed to jump. You're wrong gecko, dude. There is a lizard on this list that will jump always. Like whatever kind you get, whatever one you get will jump. Leopard geckos don't usually jump, but she does, because she's a weirdo. That's mostly the only problem, is that they're a little expensive. Their enclosures are easy. You can throw a leopard gecko in a 20-gallon. People often do 40 gallons too, but 20 gallons fine. 20 gallon is usually fine, unless they're like a giant leopard gecko, then you can put them in a 40 gallon or larger. But 20 gallons are fine. Don't put them in anything smaller than a 20 gallon. 20 gallon is like a bare minimum size. Yep, they're great. I love leopard geckos. She's really fun to handle, even though she's a little crazy and dumb. She is my newest reptile. I only have 2 reptiles. Sorry, some technical difficulties there. I hate when your phone is like, oh, its storage is full, and then it just quits in whatever you're doing. Stupid. Anyways, what I was saying, they're great. I was talking about how I've been keeping her for only a few months. It's been great being a leopard gecko keeper. It's interesting. They are kind of generic, though. There's a lot of leopard gecko keepers out there. They're probably the most popular reptile, period, besides like ball pythons or bearded dragons, which are both very overrated. There shouldn't be as many people keeping bearded dragons and ball pythons. Ball pythons are a little more understandable. They're cheap, especially compared to bearded dragons. You have to spend so much money on bearded dragons. I don't get the allure of bearded dragons. They're cool to handle, but I do not get the whole, oh, I love bearded dragons so much idea. They're not, not great. Pretty bad. On to the next one. Okay, reptile number 4, I do not have, which is a hognose. It's a snake. I do not have a hognose, mostly because if I didn't get Alex, my corn snake, I probably would have gotten a hognose. They're the next best thing for snakes. Not ball pythons. Don't. They're not great. They'll stop eating for a year. It's bad. Corn snakes will never do that to you, nor will hognoses. Hognoses are great eaters from what I've seen, from what I've heard. I've talked to some reptile keepers about hognoses, watched a lot of videos about hognoses. I almost got a hognose instead of goji, actually, but I got goji instead because I would have wanted a lizard. Lizards are fun. There will always be, for some reason, people always are like, whoa, you have a pet snake, you're so cool, when there's a lot of people who have pet snakes. But hognoses are pretty fun. They're not really going to be out much. They're a little harder to find, too. That's why they're at 4, because they're expensive. The average price for a hognose is over $50 at least, probably more like $100 for even a normal morph. It's still pretty cheap, but that's still expensive. Hognoses are fun. They'll mostly be underground or in a hide. They won't really be out a ton. You will see them more during the day than you will at the night because I believe they're diurnal. It's not 100% sure. With leopard geckos, they're cathemeral, which means they're up whenever they want, which would be awesome. Anyways, back to hognoses, sorry. They eat great. They never really get to huge mice or even rats because they only get about 3 feet long. They're pretty small. Probably, they're close to the smallest snake on this list. I think the other snake is smaller. But hognoses are great. They're a great choice. When you hold them, I've held quite a few hognoses. When you hold them, they'll like dig into your hand because they'll try to dig because they love to dig, especially when they're out in the open. They'll be like, oh crap, I'm out in the open, I'll get snatched by a bird. So they'll try to dig. It's a weird feeling. It's kind of silly. They look really funny too. They're so cute. I would love a hognose. If I got another reptile, it would either be emerald tree skinks, which is what's going to be in this tank that's up here. You can't see it, but they're probably going to be in that tank. Unless there's something else, or if emerald tree skinks are way hard to find. I know where to get them, though. Animal Ark. Or anyways, I would either be emerald tree skink, hognose, or Kenyan Sand Boa. Those are some of the most fun reptiles that you could keep. Hognoses are great. They're great for handling. They're easy to handle. And they're a little more at risk of falling out of your hand because they're not really used to climbing a ton. But that's not really an issue if they're that small. If they're big and you had to worry about them falling, that'd be a big issue. Because if you had them wrapped around their neck, they'd just fall, you know. They're easy to keep. Their humidity doesn't really need to be high. Their tank, probably a 20 gallon to 40 gallon. If it's a female, go 40 gallon. If it's a male, go 20 or 30 gallon. Males get smaller than females. Way smaller than females. Like a foot or two smaller. I think they get like a foot and a half, 2 feet. And females get 3 feet. So big difference there. Probably male is better than if you want to really cut costs down. But 40 gallons aren't crazy expensive. You can buy front opening 40 gallon, or not even a front opening. I would recommend deeper substrate for them. Like if you got a 20 gallon, I would fill half of it up with substrate, like a lot of it, just to give them a lot of room to dig. Hides, mostly hides, maybe one stick or two to climb on. That's all they really need. Fake plants would be nice too. They like to hide in bushes. And that's it for hognoses. They're pretty great. If I didn't get Goji or Alex, I probably would have gotten a hognose. So pretty awesome. All right, number 3 is a reptile that I also don't have, and it's really similar to the hognose, almost the same care. A Kenyan Sand Boa. I bet this one's way less known than the hognose, but it's a great beginner snake. If I could, I would 100% get a Kenyan Sand Boa. Probably shouldn't right now, because my parents would get really mad at me. They'd be like, already? You just got a reptile 3 months ago. Come on. It would be awesome to have a Kenyan Sand Boa, though. I would love it. I think a female would be fine in 20 yon, actually. All they do, you will never see them. You will never see them until you pull them out. And they're great for handling. I've held a Kenyan Sand Boa before at Clint's Reptile Room. Same place where I held a hognose. Same place where I got my love of reptiles and got the obsession. They are great. You'll never see them until you pull them out, though, because they love to dig as well. That's why they're called the Kenyan Sand Boa, because they're always dug in the sand. They're beautiful. They're beautiful snakes, and they got awesome morphs. The best thing about a Kenyan Sand Boa is they also eat very well, and they don't have to get big mice like hognoses. They actually get about the same size as hognoses. Females get about 3 feet, maybe more. Males, I think males with Kenyan Sand Boas get even smaller than males with hognoses. I think the males only get about 1 foot. It's crazy. 1 foot, maybe 1.5 feet, but nothing crazy at all. Male could definitely be in a 20 gun, maybe even a female too, because they don't do much. They'll just sit in one spot. That's why the best name for a Kenyan Sand Boa would be Sarlacc, because they just sit in the same place, kind of poke their head out of the sand. When they see something moving up there, they go, ow. That was kind of cringe. Sorry. They're great. They're beautiful. They also look pretty derpy too, because they have the eyes further up their head. Kind of looks like a bad children's drawing. They're fun. They're not as smooth as other snakes though. That's the issue when holding them. When they kind of go through your hands, it feels like someone's rubbing sandpaper through your hands. It's not the most comfortable experience handling them, but they're fun. I like Kenyan Sand Boas. I would prefer to handle a hognose over a Kenyan Sand Boa, but Kenyan Sand Boas, they're not cheaper than hognoses. They're probably about the same price. I think Kenyan Sand Boas are more beautiful than hognoses, honestly. Don't tell Adam, he'll be mad. Adam will ever see. I doubt he'll ever see this video. Anyways, they're great. I would 100% get a Kenyan Sand Boa if I could. They're awesome. They also have these like really spiky tails, which is pretty cool. I don't know exactly why. I'm guessing it helps them dig. I don't know all the Kenyan Sand Boa facts. I know all the leopard gecko and corn snake facts though. Speaking of leopard geckos, she is back here. Where is she going? This is, yeah, another example of crazy leopard geckos. There she is. Come here. Don't get mad. Sorry. Oh my gosh, you might get put away. You might get put away. I mean, this is the last thing with you in it. Why don't we go to the next reptile? Okay, for this reptile, I had to borrow my sister's reptile. A Crested Gecko. This is Echo, the Crested Gecko. Name kind of fits with her species. She is very cute. She is tiny. She's only a few months old, actually. She is very young. Oh, she might jump on the camera. That'd be funny if she jumps on the camera. So, I'll let her. Anyways, I'm gonna hurry a little quicker with this one because I'm not quite used to her. And Libby doesn't really trust me a ton with her reptile, but it's fine. She's probably the cheapest to keep out of any. Cheap to get. Got her for like $70, I think. And she's more of a high-end morph. Let me see if she'll let me kind of show you her back. She's more of a high-end morph. She is a tricolor harlequin. I just remembered her morph. She's beautiful. She still has her tail, too. That's always a good thing with Crested Geckos. That is their main flaw, is that they will drop their tails for the dumbest reasons. That's why I'm kind of being a little more careful with her, especially because she's a baby. They do drop their tails even with like loud thunder. It's crazy. But they're fun. Great to handle. Probably one of the best reptiles to handle ever, besides snakes, of course. Most snakes are way better to handle than any lizard. But she is great. She's way easy to keep. She eats a powder that mixes with water. It's like a fruit paste. It's kind of like baby food once you make it. Actually, before they had like powders that you could buy and mix, people would just feed them baby food, and they lived great. They were fine. They can also eat insects. They don't eat insects as much as they do the powder. It's mostly like a treat every few weeks. If they don't eat insects well, like she doesn't eat insects very well, we just feed her one of the diets with insects in it. So it'll have like little pieces of crickets in it. It's a little gross, but it works. She's great. The only reason she is not number one is because the daily care. You have to refill their food daily, and you have to mist their enclosure daily. That is the biggest issue. You could get like a mister in there, but you still have to replace their food every day or it'll go bad. It'll get moldy and gross and disgusting. But she is great. She's a little cutie. You can look how dumb she looks. She looks a little dumb, but that's okay. She's cute. She is adorable. She's fun. Everyone likes to handle her. She is really chill right now. I like it. Usually she'll kind of jump around. That is the other problem with them, is they'll jump while being handled. They are probably the best reptile besides the number one. They, like, if I were to recommend someone a reptile and they didn't want a snake, probably recommend them a crested gecko or a leopard gecko. But crested geckos are probably better than leopard geckos, at least care-wise. I think handling-wise, leopard geckos are a little more fun. Yeah, that's it for Echo. I don't think she's going to jump for us. That's actually kind of a good thing, is that she won't jump. And with these guys, is you can do a DQ test because they don't, they have sticky pads on their feet, so they can kind of hang upside down like that. It's kind of cool. That's it for Echo, and we will go on to the number one reptile. I think by now, if you have seen my channel since near the beginning, you know who is coming next. I think she's a pretty popular one with you guys. Anyways, that's it. Bye, Echo. Alright, you guys guessed it. Corn snake is number one. I love corn snakes. They are just my favorite reptile ever. They are so easy. They are great to handle. I love them so much. They're so fun. They're beautiful. Just look how beautiful Alex is. This is Alex, my yearling female corn snake. She is an amel tessera, amelanistic tessera. Tessera means they have like little stripes down them, and amel or amelanistic means they have little to no melanin in their skin, which makes their skin dark. She is just beautiful. She is so fun, and one of the reasons they're called corn snakes is they have kind of that corn design on their belly. They're also called corn snakes is because they'll hang out in cornfields and eat mice in there. They are the best reptile that I have kept, that I have handled, that I have, like, all the corn snakes that I've handled or met have been great. And people would say, like, oh, baby corn snakes are so mean, they'll bite you, they'll nip you. Alex has never bitten me before. She never bit me, and I got her when she was about a month old. So she just recently became a yearling, because I got her about a year ago now. I got her in February, so a little over a year. And she was about a month old then, so I've had her for a while, and I love her. She is probably my favorite to handle. Maybe not my favorite to watch. She just kind of sits there, but she is so easy. If you want to watch a movie and hold your reptile, I think corn snakes are the easiest ones to just chill with. Snakes are a deal breaker for some people, and the fact that they eat rodents. The rodents that they eat are not expensive though, and they only eat the most they'll eat is like once a week. But currently Alex is eating a fuzzy per 12 days, and every 12 days is great. Actually, today is the day that I feed her. She's a hungry little noodle. She's hungry. Yeah, they are fun. She's never bit me. Even when my fingers smelled like mice, like I had just gotten her mouse out of her bag, and I was like, I wonder if she'll bite me. because I had my fingers in her enclosure. I had just pulled the mouse out of its package, and I went to grab her, and I was like, holy crap, what if she bites me? She didn't. She kind of sniffed my hand, but I think she could smell my scent over the mouse's scent. I don't know. She is the best. People will be like, oh, snakes, they're slimy, they're evil, they want to eat you. If you go herping and find wild snakes, they probably won't bite you. If you're afraid of snakes and you're like, oh, they'll bite me, they always want to eat me. Watch, I forgot his name. He will catch wild snakes until they bite him, and he'll catch like 15 snakes before any of them bite him. They're just great. Snakes are awesome. Snakes should probably be the next big thing within the next decade or so. They should definitely be way more of a popular pet because they are so easy, they're so cheap. The only issue with corn snakes, though, is that they need a larger tank. She is currently in an 120 gallon, but if you know where to get them, and if you get a PVC, they're way cheaper. I got my 120 gallon tank from Dubia.com. They sell feeder insects for leopard geckos and stuff, but they also sell tanks, and I got her tank from there. I also got Goji's tank from there. They're just cheaper, they're nicer, they're great. They ship to your house and you build it. Boxes aren't very big. They're great. Alex is great. She is my first reptile that I've ever had. She is the best. I love Alex so much. I'm so glad she's in a new tank, though. She was in a 40 gallon. At this size, she'd probably still be fine in a 40 gallon, but I wanted to make her happy. So she's in a 120 gallon. She'll probably be in that same one for the rest of her life, unless she needs a bigger tank if she gets, like, if she's a shack of corn snakes, which I doubt. She probably won't get that big. She'll probably get at most 6 feet. It's usually how big corn snakes get. This is a female corn snake, so she will get 5 to 6 feet. Oh, she's going into my sleeve. Oh, she's back out. Males get 4-ish feet, 4.5 feet. Not too big of a size difference, but pretty different. When she's old enough, she'll probably be able to go around my neck pretty easily. She currently could go around my neck if I wanted her to. I could just go like this, but she doesn't really, it's not the best position for her. She's the best. I love Alex. She's the best reptile to handle, the best reptile to care for. Not the best reptile to watch, though. You can make their tanks pretty, but you won't really see them out unless it's evening or night. They don't usually come out during the day, usually. Sometimes you'll see them out, maybe basking, or they'll kind of be in a, like, kind of, oh, I can't talk, hide where you can kind of see them in if you make them a little cave and you can look inside their cave or something. I have that with Goji. I don't have that with Alex, though. She likes her privacy. She's the best. I love Alex. Corn snakes are probably the best. I would recommend getting them a little older, though. It's kind of hard caring for them when they're this young. And surprisingly, so I got her when I didn't know a ton about reptiles. I just knew about corn snakes. I got her from Petco, which, yeah, attack me all you want. I didn't know much about reptiles then. I didn't know that Petco was bad. And she has done great. She had stuck sheds at first because they told us to keep her on Aspen, and that's a bad idea. But then once I got her on cocoa fiber, she was great. Do not keep corn snakes on Aspen. A lot of people do, and they have success. It's just a bad idea. They're from like Florida and North Carolina, South Carolina. Those are pretty humid states. They also can go in different states, but they're most prominent in like Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. Pretty humid there. So you kind of want to keep them at higher humidity. I'd recommend Bioactive with these guys because they actually poop a lot. They poop surprisingly a lot. What sucks is she poops on me more than she poops in her enclosure. It's so bad. I hate it. Her poops don't stink a ton, but they're gross. They're really gross. And she always like poops on me when I least expect it, or when I'm not paying attention to her. Like, I'll hold her when I'm like playing a game, like Fortnite or something, and she'll poop on me. Yeah. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully I helped you find out what reptile you'd like. If you didn't like these reptiles, I could make another best beginner pet reptiles video of different reptiles. They'd probably be similar to these ones, but a little different. Maybe I'd put ball pythons on that list. Maybe. it would probably be more likely a milk snake or a Mexican black king snake or a Hog Island boa or something like that. Something that eats better and needs less. Well, ball pythons need like 120, at least a 40 gallon. Probably better not a 40 gallon, 50 at least. Anyways, that's it. If you want to see more reptile videos, make sure to like this video, maybe comment on it and be like, hey, I want to see this video about reptiles. Maybe a corn snake care guide, maybe a leopard gecko care guide, maybe even a crested gecko care guide. I don't know a ton about crested geckos. My sister is usually the one who does the crested gecko stuff. Sometimes I'll do it for her, but she knows a little more about crested. Well, she probably doesn't know a little more. I know a lot about reptiles. That's gonna do it. See you guys later. And remember, snakes are not scary. They're not. Don't be afraid of snakes. It's the stupidest fear of all time. It's so dumb.